It can't be that the hyper narrative surrounding the illegal immigrants is going to persist for much longer, because in the past week or so, there have just been so many incidents that suggest that there has been a kind of self-selecting mechanism for bringing adventurous young men into the country and then just paying them to be here and letting them loose on the public, where it's just terrible things just keep happening. Genuinely terrible things. Over and over and over. And there has to be a breaking point. There has to be a limit where we realise, right, it is not safe to leave these unvetted, just random men who have broken into the country to roam around and do whatever it is they want, let alone the indignity of us having to pay for it. It's just not safe. I mean, here's one where an asylum seeker brutally raped a teenager in a park in Elgin in Scotland. It's just awful. I mean, that's just a life ruined, isn't it? Like this is just a terrible thing that's happened. The victim was struggling with her mental health at the time, was out for a walk to listen to music, and some random foreigner decided to rape her now. He told me, "I'm your boyfriend now." Oh, really? Is that how it is? Here's an asylum seeker in Birmingham who raped a 12-year-old, offering her crisps because, as he said, it's not safe on the streets. So he brings her into his house and then rapes her. So, oh, right, okay. It's not safe on the streets for a reason, right? It's just mad how this just keeps happening. Oh, he could be deported. Deported? Like, way worse things should happen to this man. Right? If we were a just country, every single one of these men would be in agony for a long, long time afterwards. The next one, an asylum seeker who sexually assaulted 3 women was spared jail. Again, these are all just from the end of October. Like this one was, what's the date? The 24th. Oh, this is from July, sorry. This one's from the 30th of October, so a couple of days ago, literally the other day. This one's from the 22nd of October. Like, this is just crazy, isn't it? Qais al-Azwad, originally from Syria, lived in a Surrey hotel when he sexually assaulted 3 women as he cycled past them. So it just... I mean, just what do you say? The brazenness with which they commit these kinds of attacks, the lack of consideration and concern, and they just seem to think that they're not going to be punished. And then when they do something, just like, yeah, well, we're not going to send him to jail. Remember, Keir Starmer, you tweet or you go out and protest and riot, shout at the cops, 24-hour courts, right? That's what you get, 24-hour courts. If you're from Syria and you sexually assault 3 women in one day, well, you're not going to jail. That's just not how this works. The system is what it does. This is the point of the system. This is what it's getting at. I mean, someone actually got jailed, which is shocking, isn't it? This is from September. An asylum seeker, of course, who raped a woman in Hyde Park. He was jailed for 8.5 years. Oh, thank God. Thank God. And I love the judge. The judge was like, you were driven purely by your own sexual desire. Yes, he's a rapist. He's a foreign rapist. Yes, he is just driven by his own sexual desires. That's how it works. Basically, he found a woman who was drunk, I think, and decided to drag her into a bush and rape her. And so, oh, great. Great. I mean, again, like 8.5 years in jail is not enough for the life ruined. Frankly, it's not enough. Like, the ledger, the cosmic debt that is being incurred on the side of the asylum seekers is not paid back by 8.5 years, which will be 4 years in jail, at most, assuming Keir Starmer doesn't just let him out early. In fact, there was an example the other day, yesterday, of one of the people that Keir Starmer had let out early had gone on to murder someone. But I'll talk about that another time, because that's not what I'm trying to get at here. Anyway, the point being, it just keeps happening. And, okay, so you've got a rape spree going on, but you've also got a murder spree. Here's an asylum seeker, I try and pronounce these names, Habi Kabdiraxman Nur stabbed Govinda Johal in a Lloyd's bank in Derby. And that was, again, 2 days ago. Just... What are these savages doing here, man? Oh, great, now we get to pay for him to live in jail for life. No, he should be hanged. Murderers used to be hanged. That was the punishment for murder. The giant debt, the moral debt that the murderer has incurred begins to slightly be paid off with the price of his own life. That's what the death penalty is for. I don't want to hear nonsense about rehabilitation or the amount it costs to keep them in jail. That's, none of this is the right way to look at this. I'm not interested in rehabilitating this man. He has blood on his hands. He took a life, and therefore he needs to give something up in order to pay that back, meaning his own life. And this will prevent him from ever doing such a thing again in the future, won't it? Again, it's just mad. Just calmly walked into a bank and stabbed a man to death without provocation or motive. Then why do we want him alive? What is the possible reason that we should keep him alive other than repay the cosmic debt that he has incurred? And yet there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of these people just wandering our streets. He broke into the country, so we paid for him to live here, and now they're just sat in this country doing nothing. And you get people like this who just like, I think I'll just go and murder someone in a bank today. What, in a Lloyd's bank? Is that really, like, what could possibly have been going through his head? But that's the point, isn't it? You don't understand him. You don't understand why he would go into a Lloyd's bank and murder someone without motive or provocation. You just don't understand these people. Anyway, you've got the murder of Rhiannon Sky White, who, again, just Den Chol magic. Again, this from last week. She was working at an asylum hotel. He decides to follow her out after she leaves with the screwdriver, stabs her like 30 times or something. Just utterly brutal murder at a train station. And then just goes back and is like laughing and celebrating in the hotel. Like the CCTV footage of him just like sitting down drinking with his friends. It's like, I'm sorry, man, but I'm starting to think these might not actually be asylum seekers. I'm starting to think that these people are here for other reasons, right? This is mad, and you don't understand him. You don't understand why he did that. You'll never understand. But again, the cosmic ledger just gets more and more unbalanced, and a murderer should just be hanged. He should just be hanged. He shouldn't have been in this country. The people who let him into this country should be held accountable. They should be, at the very least, he stabbed her in the head 23 times in total. Like, what are we doing? Why are we sacrificing people in this country in order to uphold a liberal fiction of asylum seekers on the obviously wrong assumption that this will never be taken advantage of by people who are just fucking evil? And the evil people are like, great, you're just giving us every opportunity we need to just go in and do insane and barbaric things. We can just go do barbaric things, can't we? That's great. That's incredible. We just have access to people who don't realise that we are demented savages, and you're going to bring us into your country, you're going to pay for us to live here, and you're going to give us access to your most vulnerable people so we can rape and murder them. And the British government is like, yes, we are. Yes, that's precisely what we're going to do. But it's just, I mean, there's no end to the horror or to the number of lives that have been ruined because of this policy, by the way. Like, every single one of these men should just be deported the second they touch ground here. Right? But instead, I mean, they don't even get to touch ground here. We send Border Force out to collect them and bring them in. And then we give them money, then we give them a hotel. And we put them somewhere next to a school or next to vulnerable people. And we wonder, how is it that so many of them are doing so many terrible things? Then, of course, you have the stabbing in Uxbridge the other day of Wayne Broadhurst. Just 49-year-old man, bin man, just normal guy, just totally normal guy, totally average guy, just wandering around in the middle of the day, walking his dog, and some fucking Afghan asylum seeker decides, yeah, no, this is the guy I'm going to murder today. I'm going to murder him today, was what this guy thought. And so he attacks him in the street. Obviously, I can't play the video. It's utterly brutal and merciless, completely premeditated, completely full knowledge of what he was doing. Broke into the country, given asylum and leave to remain in 2022. And then just decided one day, just 3 years later, yeah, I'm just going to murder a guy. In broad day, I'm just going to murder him. I'm just going to kill this guy. No reason, no motive, nothing this guy had ever done wrong. Never had a bad word with him or anything. But I'm going to just mercilessly stab him to death in the middle of the street. Right? This is mad. This is utterly mad. And I don't know why we are tolerating it. I don't know why. Like, I watched Question Time the other day, and there's some bloody activist woman who's like, big, watery eyes, being like, oh, the poor asylum seekers. Are you serious? The poor asylum seekers? I'm sorry, I just don't agree with this characterization of the asylum seekers, because they keep doing horrific things. And the thing is, as well, you don't know anything about them. You don't know who these men are. You don't know what they're guilty of in their home countries. You don't know what they're fleeing. You don't know what they've done. You don't know what their intentions are. And yet you are taking them in as if they are all just babes in the woods who are just found completely vulnerable. And it's like, no, sorry, no. They're just obviously not. And I just don't believe this. And this is just, like, obviously, you know, crime is going up. If you look at, like, it was never great in Hillingdon where this took place, but now it's way worse than it used to be. You can see the direct line up there, and it's just terrible. And obviously this is like causing bankruptcy in the council. The place is just being run down. This is where the stabbing took place, by the way. The place is being run down, the council on the verge of bankruptcy. And then, you know, this woman who phoned into Julie Hartley-Brewer is like, Jesus Christ, we're terrified. We're absolutely terrified. Let's watch this.
Oh, I live in the borough right next to Hillingdon.
Yep.
And so I moved into my house in 2019. My local shop, there's been 3 stabbings, 1 murder since then.
Wow.
My friend was murdered last year up on the high street. Girl I know was murdered in Southall Park. The government are failing us. I'm so scared for my children. I have a 22-year-old son, and I'm begging him to move out of the country.
Oh my goodness, I feel for you.
What are these politicians doing to us? They're putting our children in so much danger. They're putting everyone in danger, and they're not doing nothing to help us.
And that's the thing. A lot of us feel. You know, how many is too many?
They're pushing us to do something that we don't want to do. We are peaceful people. British people never vote against their government.
Yeah.
They're going to push us through it because they're not listening to us. Our friends, our family are dying. I had a cousin murdered 20 years ago who was stabbed to death, and nothing has changed, Julia.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm sure I speak for everyone listening and watching right now. My heart goes out to you, and that's the reality.
I don't leave the house without a man.
You're that worried.
Well, everyone I know is getting stabbed. They're getting raped in parks. This is where I live, not where the politicians live.
Do you think that's part of the issue, that they don't live in the real world?
Keir Starmer, if you're listening to this, please do something.
So what I found frustrating about this was kind of Julie Hartley-Brewer trying to turn it into a question of policy. This is about human suffering. This is about the genuine terror that our countrymen are living in. Like, this is genuinely the worst possible thing that they could have done. We're going to release a bunch of violent, rapey men from foreign countries who've got no connection to this place and who don't care about these people at all. We're going to pay for them to just live here and be completely idle and do nothing for however many years until they just go off and they're like, okay, I don't understand this madhouse and I'm going to just kill someone. Right? This is insane. Absolutely insane. And what this poor woman ringing in needs to understand is that this is policy. Right? This is the point of it. This is what the thing is for. They are trying to uphold universal human rights. They are trying to uphold a fiction, a fantasy about what a person's life ought to entail, regardless of the kind of people that applies to. And as we've seen, it applies to some of just the worst people that have ever been bred on this sorry fucking planet. People we should be personally hanging in the streets for the things that they do to us. And Julie is just like, well, I mean, I guess that's bad, isn't it? It's like, oh my God. It's so much worse than bad. It's so much worse. And then when you look at the cosmic debt that's being incurred against us, it's never going to get paid back. All I'm saying is every single one of these murderers and all of the people that they are hanging out with prior, they just need to be sent back, right? At the very, very least. Every asylum seeker, just get rid of them. These are not asylum seekers. These are adventurers. Get rid of them. They are dangerous, clearly. And we'll deal with the politicians who have brought this to us at some point in the future. At the very, very least, we have to vote against all of this. At the very, very least, you have to find a party that is going to remove all of the legislation. Like Nigel Farage is right? And Zia Youssef have been saying this. It's the legislation from the 20th century that was designed to deal with European refugees who made directly after World War II when it seemed to make sense. That's what it was designed for. It was not designed for random third worlders who don't understand our civilization and who treat people in the way they treat people. It was not designed for them, and they should not qualify for it. Anyway, this is just horrific and is the reality of life in Britain at the moment.